Welcome to the Tech Journeys podcast. I'm your host, Vincent, and on this podcast, I interview people in tech. As always, this show is sponsored by the consulting launch method, where I interview people in tech and I help people in tech and build their own consulting business alongside their day job, without spending years to figure out the business side. I've helped clients to go from initial idea to first client in 90 days and six figures within a year. To learn more, connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a message. On today's show, I'm really pleased to have Laura Burrell on. She works at Hammer Distribution as infrastructure specialist, data center infrastructure specialist, and she helps customers and partners with technical requirements design for the data center and infrastructure portfolio. Welcome, Laura. So,
Hi, thanks for having me, Vincent.
so the first question I always ask is looking back at your career so far, right? What is the decision or the project that you're most proud of, and why? What made it stand out for you?
I suppose in terms of achievement, it would probably be someone's quite recently. So I started out, or certainly in distribution, working as a product manager, and I've still sort of taken some of those roles, well, parts of that role with me. But in the last few months, I made the decision that I wanted to go a slightly more technical route. You see all these amazing things that are happening in the market at the moment around data centers and AI, and I thought that's something that I want to get involved in. I want to push myself towards, and so in terms of that, I then went on to take my certified data center professional qualification,
Yeah.
which I then passed, and that was it. That was a huge achievement for me, sort of making the decision to go, this is what I'm going to swerve towards, and this is what interests me and what I want to get talking to customers about. And then also off the back of that and my change in role and the sort of connections I'm making at the moment and the projects that I'm working on, then being nominated for the Women in Diversity in the Channel Awards. That's just being nominated is quite a big, I don't know, it's a huge achievement for me. It's nice. You see all these women doing amazing things out in the industry and you don't think you're one of them. So it's lovely to be on that list at all. So I would say, yeah, that's being recognised for that and sort of my career change and my qualification.
Clearly, you're not one of them. So,
I
so
wouldn't have said so, but
exactly. Yeah, no, that's all right. And so, in terms of the technical side, right? Why did you kind of decide to kind of you like that more? What was sort of what drove you in that kind of direction?
I think it's just sort of nice being able to, and what I really enjoy sort of talking to people around something that I'm very confident on and being able to go in and really, I mean, at heart, I'm a massive nerd, being able to go in and nerd out on a lot of stuff that most people wouldn't necessarily find particularly interesting, but is very useful in the context of conversations with customers around data center build outs, at a data center level, at a rack level, all the considerations they need to be making and the standards these days with the new AI implications as well, and everything that they need to consider when putting together a solution to make sure it's going to work the way they want it to, it's going to be efficient and sustainable as well.
Yeah. So how has AI changed the way you approach your role, and and the way you have conversations with clients? Or
Well, it's changed everything really. I mean, it's not just a buzzword. The AI boom, everything has just grown exponentially over the last. There's been more growth in the last 6 months than there has been probably in the last 5 to 10 years. It's just you're looking at racks going from 5 to 15 kilowatts of power. There's suddenly 20 to 40 plus. Like the power requirement of AI servers, they are they're heavier, they require bigger racks, the power draw is significantly more, and then the heat that they generate is more as well. The whole infrastructure piece needs a complete reassessment. You're looking at different racks, you're looking at much bigger UPS and backup battery systems, you're looking at cooling requirements as well, because where you may have got away with air cooling or potentially in row before, you're now having to look at much more focused cooling methods to make sure that your equipment that's going to cost you God knows how much is going to run as efficiently as you need it to. So it's had a huge impact on what data center infrastructure in that industry, and the projects that we're working on at the moment really back that up. there's so much in rack and power distribution at the moment that's happening, as you
Yeah.
see entire data centers, entire computer room floors being refitted to be able to accommodate these new AI requirements.
Fantastic. I find it fascinating because obviously it's the hardware and the software always seems to sort of push each other forward.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a never-ending spiral upwards. I feel. So,
Yeah, and it shows no sign of stopping at the moment. The requirements are still there. Everything is just growing and growing. And we'll have to stop at some point, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
no,
So yeah, at Hammer we work out how best to support our customers in their response to sort of their AI journey, not just with infrastructure, but even any kind of AI journey for them. We launched AI Works earlier this year, which is a sort of an innovation hub, I suppose, sort of to build smarter AI infrastructure, and is a hub for consultants, customers, experts, salespeople, vendors as well, to sort of really help a customer and hold their hand sort of through a journey and either support what they're doing at the moment in terms of their AI journey or lead them through that start to finish.
yeah,
Find a problem that AI can solve. We can build out the physical infrastructure for them to then carry that through to a solution.
fantastic. So if you were starting your career again, right, tomorrow, knowing what you know now, with all these changes that are happening, the transitions that are happening, AI, and obviously a big move in the last 20 years from on-prem to cloud. Data centers become a much more integral part of society, I would say. But what is the one thing that you would do differently?
What would I do differently? I'd probably start within sort of data center infrastructure a little earlier. I actually started in AV, audio visual, and while that was great, and at times you can get some sort of really exciting sort of like visual projects and stuff, it wasn't particularly technical, and it sort of wasn't necessarily, obviously there is still a huge AV market out there, but in terms of the data center market and the direction that is going in, I suppose I would have jumped onto the bandwagon, if you will, a little bit sooner, but really just started to learn about the changes in those data center environments. It's such a huge thing, especially at the moment. You see data centers flying up all over the place, and it's an exciting time to work in IT distribution for sure.
So AV didn't really satisfy you, the nerd in you, in a way.
No,
Um,
not so much. And it was more the opportunities as well. I was very lucky here that I was sort of given an opportunity to pivot into a technical role and really nerd out on that kind of stuff and be able to talk to customers and sort of share the best practice, share sort of what the standards are and the considerations they need to be making.
yeah. And did you do AV at Hammer as well, or was it somewhere else?
No, that wasn't at Hammer. So I started in AV at Pacific Computers. It's sort of misleading when they say computers. They do computer fit outs as well, but they are a very respected AV integrator. They worked a lot with the likes of like the Merlin Group and everything, and had some really cool projects sort of integrating audio visual into entertainment environments, which was fantastic. I then moved to Intevi, which later became Aura Futures, also an AEV integrator working a lot more in retail, and love those jobs, absolutely fantastic. But it was, I suppose it was the data center side of things that interested me that little bit more,
Yeah,
and there was a
fair
bit
enough.
more to flesh out for me and a direction that I could see myself going in.
Very exciting. I mean, it's good that you were able to make this sort of pivot and this change, right? Because sometimes uh, I see a lot of people that simply get stuck in one sort of area of the market
Yeah.
and can't get out of it. So it's
Yes, and I mean, I suppose it's sort of about making a decision and finding something that interests you. It was actually a colleague of mine that's in today just said, I think he could sort of see that I'd sort of been doing a certain job for a long time, wasn't necessarily fed up with it, but was certainly sort of stuck in a little bit of a rut and sort of needed a bit of a change of direction. And he said, "Have you thought about this?" And I was, have you thought about being more of a technical resource, sort of like a point of contact and expertise for our sales teams, for our customers? And I thought, hang on a minute, that's something that we don't have here. That's something I would really enjoy doing. Sometimes you either need to work it out for yourself or have a little bit of a nudge from a good colleague as well to point you in that direction. And I'm so glad I did.
Fantastic. And so now that's actually quite current, obviously, that you made that change in career-wise. Is there, when you look further out in the future, what do you see for yourself?
I mean, what I'd really like to do is, I've taken my certified data center professional course. I'd really like to go a step further in that studying when it comes to fleshing out full design pieces. I'd like to go a bit further there, and I'd like to be able to become infrastructure specialist at the moment, but I'd really like to move into a more of a consultancy kind of role at some point as well.
And that sounds amazing. And so, why are you looking for to do that? Moved into consultancy type of role. What's that? What do you think that will bring to you?
Not necessarily independent sort of like consultancy, but being able to go to site, meet with more customers and look at sort of broader opportunities and be able to sort of get, I suppose, with the additional training, my voice become that more established and respected as well, so I can advise on these larger scale projects even.
So you become more outward facing as well, is it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, customer facing.
Yeah, I am customer facing at the moment, but even more of that, just sort of being able to go to sites, advise on certain things. What I really love is being able to see the tech and everything that we are speccing together at work. So being able to go and assess a current layout, and if, say, a customer is looking at a complete refresh, they're having to put in significant changes to their infrastructure because of the new demand, making those suggestions on what direction to go in with that, because we've got some fantastic things available to us as well when it comes to the world of cooling specifically. As well as in-row rear door cooling, we also have access to immersion cooling, which is really cool. It's sort of been bubbling away, not to use a pun on water there, for a long time now. But essentially, it is the most efficient cooling method when it comes to the amount of heat that you can cool at once. It completely changes what your data center would look like, because everything that is upright in a rack is then on its side, and it's completely surrounded by cooling solution. And so it's exciting to be able to go into those environments and say, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? This is the direction this is going in. It might be that we are completely looking at a different layout of data center completely. You might have some of your standard racks, you might have some of them on the side in immersion cooling tanks. There's so many cool and innovative things that vendors are doing in that space. It's great to sort of be at the forefront of that and sort of learning the new things, the best practice, so we can best advise our customers.
And do you find that customers are educated on this type of topic, the data center and the cooling, and where it's what the art of the possible?
I think it really does vary. When some of our customers that are sort of very data center focused, some of what I've just told you there won't be a surprise to anybody and what is possible. But when you're looking at customers that are on a slightly smaller scale, something that we're doing a lot with our AI Works program is sort of guiding them through an AI stack, how that works, and we're able to sort of make recommendations. Did you know this was an option? Did you know this was an option? And it is sort of new to people, sort of how much power can go through a rack and you be able to cool it effectively, what requirements are needed in terms of monitoring and stuff. It's stuff that they may not have even thought of, but just making sure that everything sort of adheres to certain standards and is going to run for them for as long as they can, because this is a huge financial investment, right? You want this to be as efficient and long running as you possibly can be. So Absolutely. Getting in there early with all these sort of technical specifications and questions is a really good way to make sure it's going to last for them.
So I mean, I've been in this sort of tech world, but actually sort of this laying down data centers never really occurred to me that's a thing now. So
It is, and there's really cool things happening in terms of environmental factors as well, sort of like recycling the heat from a data center as well. There's something cool, I think it was in Europe, it may have been, where they're recycling heat from a data center to heat a nearby swimming pool. So it's just finding sort of sustainable ways of recycling that heat as
Yeah,
well. But yeah, no, there's some really exciting stuff happening in that space, and I can only see sort of new exciting things happening as we go forward as well.
fantastic. Well, the best way for people to get in touch with you is through LinkedIn, presumably.
Yes, absolutely. Through LinkedIn, through my personal page, or the Hammer distribution page, if you're sort of wanting to discuss anything data center infrastructure, yeah, do get in touch.
Amazing. Well, I recommend everyone checking out Laura here. Laura, thanks so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Vincent. It's been great.
And as a reminder to everyone listening, this show is sponsored by the Consulting Launch Method, where I help experienced professionals build their own consulting businesses alongside their day job without spending years figuring out the business side. We've helped clients go from initial idea to first customer in 90 days and six figures within a year. To learn more, connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a quick message. Until the next episode, thank you.